Then, on a time, Morgoth assembled all his most cunning smiths and sorcerers, and of iron and flame they wrought a host of monsters, such have only at that time been seen, and shall not again be till the great end. Some were all of iron, so cunningly linked that they might flow like slow rivers of metal, or coil themselves around and above all obstacles before them, and these were filled in their inmost depths with the grimmest of orcs, with scimitars and spears. Others of bronze and copper were given hearts and spirits of blazing fire, and they blasted all that stood before them with the terror of their snorting, or trampled what so escaped the ardor of their breath. It's time for another landmark adventure for the One Ring, this one built around the elves of Lindon. For this adventure, players will hear that orcs are traveling the cold Northlands around the Bay of Forochel, looking for something. In 1975 of the Third Age, Círdan sent ships to rescue King Arvedui, who was living among the Losoth. Perhaps a survivor of that ill-fated voyage remembers a tale told among the Icemen, a legend of some monster frozen in ice. Could this be what the enemy is looking for? Yes, is the answer. The Serpents of Iron that Morgoth sent against Gondolin have always seemed a little strange to me, and feel slightly at odds with other elements in Tolkien's works. However, I do like the idea of one frozen for thousands of years, and now the sorcerers of Carn Dûm are hoping to reawaken its fires. As well, the memory of these terrible creations would be very real to the elves, even ones that weren't at Gondolin when it fell. Tales of that horrible battle would be known by every elf in Middle-earth, so an elf player character should have very good reason for not wanting one of those serpents falling into the hands of the enemy. This Adventures will have players meeting the Losoth, and give some good opportunities for councils. There are options for skill endeavors to set up traps to weaken the enemy forces. There will also be a race against time to see who can find the monster first, the enemy or the heroes, with the help of a Losoth woman named Liliok. Bonus points if you know where that name is from. I didn't include this idea in the adventure, but if you have played my last adventure, the Temple of the Ancient Darkness, and the sorcerer Himmelkar escaped, this would be a great way to bring him back. Even once the players find the remains of the Iron Serpent, that is not the end of this adventure. Something that ancient and terrible is not just destroyed by simple swords or axes. Players may try to scatter the remains or sink them further into the deep waters. That will certainly work, for a time. However, evil has a way of finding evil, and even the most hidden of things can be found eventually. Instead, players might need to bring the head of the creature to the Grey Havens or Rivendell, or maybe some dwarf forge is the only place that can destroy the Iron Serpent for good. That's honestly all I have to say about this adventure. If it sounds interesting, check it out using the link in the description. I have a few other things to mention. One is that I am currently doing a solo playthrough of Tales of the Lone Lands using Strider mode. A link to the document I write as I play can be found in the description as well. It is in no way polished, there are lots of grammatical errors, including changing between present and past tense, so it might be a bit of a mess to read. However, if you are struggling to figure out how to play a solo RPG, this might help with one way to go about it. I just imagine and write the story as I go, and then when I make a roll, that is included as a footnote. I am still very early in the story, so there's not much yet, but I will update it as I go along. Next, my wife has been painting these wonderful Lord of the Rings themed cards, and she has put them up on her Etsy page. There is only a few up now, but she has painted a bunch more and is currently working on uploading them. So if that interests you, check out her page through the link below. And finally, what is coming up on this channel? Well, there's quite a bit. The next video out will be covering how followers work in Beowulf Age of Heroes. If you haven't taken a look at Beowulf, I highly recommend it. It is written by some of the people that worked on the One Ring First Edition, and has lots of systems that I think could really work well for the One Ring and D&D. Following that video will be my final landmark adventure in this current series focusing on each of the heroic cultures. The last culture will be the Bardings, which should be pretty fun. Once that is done, I will start really putting in some work on my secret project. That one will take quite a while, I feel, so I have some other ideas for downloads to put out while I'm working on that. That's all for now, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.